Here we are at Logical Reasoning Drill Set 10 over at lawhub.lsac.org, and we're going to click Go to Questions, and we see our first problem pop up. As always, we are going to select a highlight tool first and read the question stem to identify what we're being asked to accomplish. And number one reads, the politician's conclusion follows logically if which one of the following is assumed. So this is one of those kinds of nuances that I don't particularly put a lot of stock in, but this is asking for a sufficient assumption as opposed to a necessary assumption. So this is going to work more like a strengthened task question than your standard, you can use the negation test sort of necessary assumption question task. So we're going to read the politician statements on the left. We're going to highlight the conclusion as we always do, and we're going to try to mentally predict what might be a realistic kind of way to strengthen this argument based on the information provided. So starting from the top with the politician, income taxes are used by governments not only to raise necessary revenues, but to give advantages through tax exemptions to worthy groups. But because there are no widely recognized criteria for deciding which groups deserve such exemptions, exempting some groups but not others creates ill will in the latter, even if, as is rarely the case, no groups are granted undeserved exemptions. Clearly, to be fair, governments must not grant tax exemptions to any particular groups. And so what we've got to note here are just some subtle term shifts that could help link the politician's argument to its conclusion. And first, we should probably recognize this qualifier of to be fair that you see me highlighting in yellow here. That is apparently the requirement of the politician to recommend this activity. And we should note what is the issue that the politician highlights in the evidence. And it says that exempting some groups but not others creates ill will. So we're basically needing to connect these terms that are shifting of ill will to fairness, because the politician is basically advocating for the recommendation for the government to be fair, and it's predicated on the requirement that we don't want to create ill will, apparently. So this is, again, a little bit different than your standard necessary assumption task. You're basically being requested to determine how to link disparate terms in almost a strengthened kind of fashion. So we'll start with choice A. Government policies are fair only if they do not cause any group to feel ill will. Well, there's our connection directly. And you can see if you can track these sorts of subtle term shifts with strengthen, weaken, identify a flaw, identify an assumption, whether it's necessary or sufficient, you can proactively, hopefully, find A as the correct answer without going into too much detail for the remaining answer choices. But of course, for the purposes of this video, we will find reasons to eliminate in each of the remaining options. Thank you for watching this LSAT explanation video of an official practice problem over at lawhub.lsac.org. If you're enjoying the explanation, please consider becoming a MyGuru member to get early and exclusive access to additional explanation problems to help you on your LSAT journey. You can also like the video and subscribe to become notified when additional practice explanation videos are produced by MyGuru. But for now, let's get back to this explanation. So B states, not all of the goals that governments aim for with their income tax policies are consistent with one another. So all of the goals that governments aim for, well, we know that the goal of this politician is just to be fair. So all of the other goals are going to be outside of the construct of this politician's argument. We should be able to eliminate B for that reason almost immediately. Then choice C, it is not fair to deny tax exemptions to a deserving group because of ill will among those who receive no tax exemptions. So the fairness of denying it to a deserving group is not tied to the idea of there being ill will among those others with no exemption. So this is trafficking in the same kinds of terms, but if we found A proactively, we're not going to be over evaluating choice C. There just isn't this connection of we're denying the tax exemptions because of the ill will. it's this idea that if anything, it's supposed to be fair to do this. So really, if anything, C is going to weaken the argument of the politician. It's not going to be a way to prove it as being logically sound. So again, C is a little bit tricky to catch because it's ultimately a reversal of the task. It's something that if true, the politician's conclusion does not follow logically. But again, if you've got A already selected, you'll move more briskly through these other options. Then D, some people do not think that all groups that currently enjoy tax exemptions are deserving of that privilege. Okay, so this idea of some people, well, we already have established that some people don't believe that they are deserving. So this is, if anything, kind of redundant within the construct of the argument. It's not something that is necessary or that would be sufficient to believe that the argument logically follows. It's something that really is already stated. So if we're trying to assume something, it can't be stated explicitly already. So goodbye to choice D. And then choice E, if giving tax exemptions to some groups creates economic inefficiency, those exemptions are undesirable. Okay, we've got this entirely new concept of economic inefficiency. I'd have to define that more specifically than the politician does, so that will require additional information. And again, on the exam, you probably are going to select choice A if you've worked through this. Again, ultimately, one of the rare occasions where you might need to distinguish a sufficient from a necessary assumption question task, because all choice A does is it connects those terms that required the logical link of ill will and fairness. And hopefully you'll be able to execute a similar evaluation style when you see these sufficient assumption question tasks that ultimately are very similar in their approach to our strengthen the argument tasks.